Greetings. What business have you?
Master Fafar.
Did you really? Do tell.
Close to Rovna, I came across a wagon that was transporting the false coins. Unfortunately, I came too late. The carter and his men were dead.
Damn and blast. Do you know who did it?
Yes. A certain knight turned up there. Turned out he was also after the forgers.
Well, that is indeed unexpected. Tell me, what did he say?
He told me that the fake money was being taken to Passau in exchange for gold coins. Then that real money was being brought back to the Bohemian lands.
That would explain why those fakes bear the Passau countermark.
His master's allied with the Passau alderman, and they told him to sort it all out.
I wonder who could be behind it all.
I asked him who his liege was, but he refused to tell me.
We live in such strange times. In days past, knights would vie with each other to see who could extol their liege's name the loudest. And today, they take assumed names, hide their emblems, and sneak around the land like thieves.
I got the impression he was hiding his identity because his master's at odds with Sir Radzig.
That may well be. As a staunch supporter of the king, Sir Radzig has many enemies.
He gave me these documents to show you. He seemed to think they prove he was telling the truth. They're the records of the interrogations in Passau, and some other things he said you'd understand better than him.
Let me see. We, the aldermen of the city of Passau... Interrogation held this day. Put to pen by the questor. The place of origin is a monastery in the land of Bohemia. Which sadly confirms my suspicion that something underhand is going on in Sasso. Coin assay report. Copper core coated with amalgam. Ah, but this is interesting. Here's an outline description of how the forgeries are made. I'll have to study it more closely. We command Herr Ulrich to investigate and let no man stand in his way. This looks like the original safe conduct. It has the seal of the Passau alderman, but they certainly didn't pen this.
How do you know?
I recognize the hand. It's a Clement of Caplitz, the high scribe of the Rosenbergs.
The Rosenbergs? Who's that?
A rich and powerful family in South Bohemia. Burgrave Henry III is a great rival of our King Wenceslaus.
So what does all this mean?
Well, it certainly explains why your knight is so mysterious. Anyway, we should be careful. And we shall begin our investigation. The documents show they use silver amalgam for coating copper fakes. That's a lead we can follow.
What?
Silver amalgam. It's produced from quicksilver and silver.
Well, that doesn't sound like something just anyone can get hold of.
You're quite right. You will go to Sasso at once. Look around the forges in the city. Someone must be working copper for them. I, meanwhile, will take counsel with Sir Radzig and then follow after you.
Where shall we meet?
At the inn on Sasso Market Square. See you later.
I'm glad you're here, Henry.
What's happening, sir?
Uncle Sir Hanush sent for me. No doubt he wants to give me another ear-bashing about the error of my ways. And he said to bring you too.
What has it got to do with me?
Plenty. You're in it with me ever since that hunt.
All right, we should get going then, shouldn't we, Sir Hans? The sooner we get it over and done with, the better.
I suppose so. Right away. I put some of my old clothes in a trunk for you. I don't want you making me look bad in front of Hanush. But I see it wasn't necessary. You look as smart as any courtier.
Thanks. I'll try my best.
So I see. But you can come and get those clothes later anyway. They're a little worn, but they're as fine as anything you'll get in the county.
Well, my ward and his, what shall we say, chaperone.
Uncle.
My lord?
I hope we haven't dragged you away from anything too important.
Not at all, Uncle. We
like
were just...
boozing and whoring, for instance.
Uncle, I can...
Perhaps you were busy, causing mayhem in the middle of the night and beating up my subjects.
No, it wasn't... Henry and I were just...
Henry's as big a fool as you are. But he's not my ward, thank Christ. What the hell do the pair of you think you're doing? There are people in this fiefdom who work from dawn to dusk to put food on their tables, and on yours, may I remind you. And then they look at you, Hans, their lord and master, and see a drunken layabout. That fellow you beat up last night was a guard, a new guard on the town watch. And he couldn't report for duty this morning because of his injuries. I had the bailiff here complaining, and could I tell him what I really think about this whole sorry affair? Of course not. That would demean me. And you too. So I had to sit gaping like a stuffed owl and listen to his grievances. Maybe you think because you're the lord here you can get away with anything. But you're sadly mistaken, you blockhead. A lord remains a lord only as long as he commands the loyalty of his subjects. And I'm sure I don't have to tell you the folk here are not exactly enchanted at the prospect of having you in charge. That was the last straw, Capon. One more of your escapades and I'll send you to your mother in Polnar. For all I care, she can dress you up like a wench and marry you off to some Hungarian.
Uncle, that arson Archibald tried to murder me. What was I to do?
Oh, don't exaggerate. Well, I'm hardly surprised after you molested his girl and humiliated him.
I was only...
Oh, don't whine, for heaven's
sorry.
sake. It's about time you started taking some responsibility. I have a job for you. Maybe that will keep you out of mischief. Sir Milota of Oleshna has turned up here. Do you know him?
Isn't he Sir Bernard's cousin?
He is. He came here with a remnant of his retinue to seek refuge. He's seriously wounded.
What happened to him, sir?
His fortress Oleshna was attacked by one Wulfrin of Camburg. Milota pursued him almost as far as Neuhof and engaged with him. Unfortunately, the skirmish didn't end well for Milota.
Wulflin of Camburg, that name is familiar.
Yeah, he's kin to the Oleshna lords, too. A cousin of Bernard's and Milota's. Their family affairs are a little complicated. None of my business, of course. I just wish they'd found somewhere else to thrash out their differences.
What do you want us to do, sir?
Go and see Bernard in the courtyard. He got a report that Wulflin pillaged some other farms around Neuhof, and he's putting a squad together to ride against him. Mind your step, though. It's a family affair, after all. Maybe more to it than meets the eye. The important thing is to get that damn scavenger out of the domain. If possible, without bloodshed. I can't afford to lose any men over this business. Have I made myself clear?
Yes, sir.
Very well, Uncle.
Get to work, then.
Oh. So did I. There was a raid on one of the farms nearby. These are evil times.
Sir Hanish sent me, Captain. I'm to join your mission. And Sir Hans, too.
Then mount up, youngster, and we'll move out.
Can I ask... Thank you.
Lord Capon, when we get there, I'd like you to hold back.
You can forget about that, Bernard. I'm not going on an outing. Hanish sent me to handle this matter, and handle it I will.
Undoubtedly, Sir Hans. I just meant for your own safety.
I know what you meant, Captain. Forget it.
Yeah.
Listen, I heard some rumors.
Yeah. About his being a relative of mine, the Melodas?
Something like that.
We have the same great-grandfather, Urban, Baron of Oleshna. Wolfen belongs to a distant branch of my family, which, well, let's just say they bring no honor to our name.
But I heard Wolfen of Camberg was hanged somewhere in Silesia after plundering the bishop's estates.
I heard the same. Only, well, I'm sure you've heard what they say about the Camberg branch of my family.
That they're cursed. Now, Bernard, don't you think I'm a little old for fairy tales?
Think what you like, but I heard it from my grandfather, and he never paid attention to old wives' tales.
I meant no offense, Captain. Well, tell me all about it then. After all, there's no smoke without fire, and I never heard about the Camberg clan from a member of the family.
Very well. At home, we always spoke in whispers about our Camberg relatives. When Wolfen's father, Wilhelm, came to visit, I'm almost ashamed to say it.
You can rely on my discretion, Captain. Carry on.
Well, the servants were so afraid of him that they went and hid in the barn. Father had them whipped, but even then they wouldn't go near Wilhelm. They were afraid he'd cursed them, and I couldn't blame them.
Why's that?
Uncle Wilhelm's face was so badly disfigured, folk would cross themselves when they saw him. I was afraid of him myself as a boy.
Was he wounded in war?
No, he was born that way. See, his mother, Countess Barbara of Hogwitz, didn't want to marry Wilhelm's father, my grandfather's brother. She never wanted to bear his children. So, she fell pregnant. They say she went to a witch to get rid of the child. Only she ended up having quintuplets. Can you imagine it? 5 babes born in one night?
Jesus Christ!
That's not all. 4 of them didn't live till dawn. Only the 5th survived. He was disfigured. Wilhelm. They say the witch cheated her, and instead of getting rid of the child, she put the devil's seed inside her.
Good Lord, how dreadful!
Well, Wilhelm carried that with him his whole life. When his own wife was in childbed, he had 7 friars kneeling in her chamber day and night. It didn't stop the rumors, though. When his son, Wolfen, was born, he looked normal enough, but he turned out to be as wild as a stray tomcat.
It seems he hasn't grown out of it.
You're right about that. A few years ago, Wolfen went off to Poland, and Wilhelm got worse and worse. He cursed everything and everyone in his path, started throwing crockery at the servants. He was on his deathbed. He sent for a priest, not just to give him the last rites. The devil would come out of him and possess someone else. Then later, Wolfen turned up, even though he was supposed to be dead for years. Folk said he was dead. That wouldn't stop the devil's spawn.
Sweet Jesus. It sounds a lot more convincing coming from you than the stories my nurses used to tell me. How are we supposed to deal with a monster like that?
Pray, Sir Hans. Pray. Whoa! Wait a second, sir. I sent them to scout ahead.
Those bastards will pay for this.
They most certainly will. Let's go. We have to make camp. Hamlin, we'll take 2 men and come back here later. I won't have Vitus and Cyril left as crow meat.
Yes, Captain.
Yeah! Yeah! Greetings.
Welcome, Henry.
Tell me, Captain, how come this wolfling is attacking his own kin?
They say blood's thicker than water, but sometimes I wonder. Look at our king and Sigismund.
So what's the cause of your conflict with wolfling?
Nothing in particular, just that he's a ruffian, a treacherous bastard, and a bandit. No wonder the whole Camber clan is cursed.
How do you mean cursed?
Like I said, Wolfin's grandfather married Countess Barbara of Holgwitz. She didn't want to bear his child and went to a witch to get rid of it. Only instead of getting rid of the unborn child, she ended up having 5.
What, all at the same time?
All in one night. But only one of them lived till morning. The youngest, Wilhelm. And his face was disfigured. They say the witch deceived the Countess, and it was Satan himself who impregnated her.
What do we do now?
First, we have to find out where those Horsens are holed up. According to the reports, they raided a few farms around here. So someone should go to those places and find out what they can. You should do it, Henry. My men would probably just startle them.
All right, Captain, I'll do that. Where are the farms?
One is uphill from Neuhof, right by the woods. One here above the woods by the crossroads, directly north from our camp. Goodbye.
Yeah. Yeah.
My respects to you.
Captain Bernard sent me. I'm here about the raid on your farm.
What? I've no idea what you're talking about, friend.
They raided your farm, didn't they?
No. I heard there was some raids hereabouts, but not here.
Something's not right. The captain sent me here to this very farm.
The captain must have made a mistake.
I suppose so.
Farewell. Feeling a bit lazy today.
Yeah.
Captain Bernard.
Well, they came, took everything they could, and rode off again. I don't know what else I can tell you.
We're trying to catch up with that gang, so I need to hear every detail you can tell me.
What do you want to know?
How many of them were there?
2 or 3. I'm not sure. My head's still in a spin.
Which way did they go?
I don't know. I wasn't watching. My husband made me hide indoors, and I only saw them through the window.
So your husband was outside?
Yes, he tried to parley with them.
What did they take?
Not much. We haven't a pot to piss in, which I told them in no uncertain terms as soon as they came here.
So you're telling me they came here, you told them there was nothing worth taking, and they just rode off again, without further ado?
More or less.
But just a while ago, you told me you were indoors the whole time.
Yes, I was. Mostly.
So were you inside or outside? Did you talk to them or not?
Well, like I say...
Let's get one or two things straight. I'm here under orders from Captain Bernard, and that robber baron who came here crippled his cousin and killed 2 of his men.
What's that got to do with me?
Just so you know, the captain is very keen to see justice done, and it would not be wise to obstruct him.
My God, what have I done to deserve this?
So, what really happened here?
First, promise me you'll get rid of them.
That's exactly what I'm here for.
They came a few days ago, took a pig and a sack of apples. We put up no resistance. I noticed one of them had an injured leg, so I offered to treat it for him.
That was very Christian of you, considering they came to rob you.
All I cared about was that they wouldn't kill us.
Go on. What happened then?
They rode off, and I prayed we'd seen the last of them. Only the same evening, they came back again. One of them had been wounded, and they wanted me to take a look at him. They gave me some coin and took me to their camp. And in the morning I came home again.
So you know where they're camped? I'd like you to lead me there.
I won't go to their camp, no. But I know of a place where you'll have a good view of it.
That'll do me.
Good luck then. I'm not going any further. If they saw me, I'd be done for. The camp's not far away in this direction.
Thanks. And don't worry, I'll deal with those bastards.
I pray you do.
Looks like I found it. I'd better get back and report to Captain Bernard.
Yeah.
I found that encampment.
Ah, I'm glad to hear it. Is it far?
Not really.
How many men did you see?
Around 10.
The same as us. Well, now we'll see if my cousin is really as tough as they say. Otherwise, he'll be swinging tonight from the Rattay ramparts.
Wouldn't it be better to parley with them, sir?
Parley with robbers? You must be out of your mind, lad.
I gave Sir Hanush my word I'd look out for his men, and I intend to keep it. So it's my duty to advise a parley.
You're going to advise me?
You're not seeing straight, Captain. No wonder, since Wolfland's your kin. Please, just grant me one thing. Let me go and parley. I'll find out more, and maybe we can settle everything without losing any men.
You want to parley? Listen, Henry, you can't rely on Wolfland to act honorably. There's every chance you won't come back.
Don't worry. I know it's a risky business, but have you got anyone better for the job?
No, I'm sorry to say I haven't. Wolfland's a conceited bastard. If he knows you come from me, he'll receive you just for a chance to tell me to go to hell. I'll give you a livery with my coat of arms, so it's clear you're my messenger. And you'll have to go unarmed.
Thank you, Captain. I'll do my best.
I hope so. Try and come back in one piece. I don't want to explain to Sir Radzig why I sent his favorite into a robber baron's camp unarmed. Good luck, then.
Hey, you!
I'm Captain Bernard.
Why should I try?
I'm unarmed. You have my word.
Any extra boots? These are too small. Sorry, traded them for booze yesterday.
Cože je to za dědina?
Who do we have here?
Henry, I'm a messenger from...
I know. So,
Why do you want to hurt the...
that bastard Mulata stole villages that belonged to my father.
You came back though, didn't you?
I came back. So they think I rode.
That's unfortunate.
Maybe.
We offer you safe conduct out of this domain if you leave everything you stole from Sir Hanish's subjects and pay 60 groschen in compensation.
That's a very generous offer. But tell me, why should I accept?
Because you don't know what you're up against.
Don't I?
Sir Hanish has a guest in Rattay. The royal hetman, Sir Radzig Kobyla. I'm sure you've heard of him.
Of course. What of him?
Sir Radzig's gathering forces in Rattay to march against the king's enemies. So I'm sure you understand that your family quarrel, or rather your way of settling it, is quite a nuisance to him.
Say no more. I heard Radzig was driven out of Skalitz, but I didn't know he was in Rattay.
So you'll leave?
I wouldn't want to go up against an old friend.
You know each other.
Indeed we do. Give him my regards, won't you? And when he marches against Sigismund by the grace of God, tell him to send word to me in Camberg. I'd hate to miss it. And now go back and tell that Oleshna Viper that we're moving out. But don't let him think he's frightened us off. It's out of respect for Sir Radzig.
I'll tell him. You're doing the right thing.
Run along, then.
I've just come back from Wolfland, Captain.
And in one piece, I see. That's something at least, but I doubt you achieved anything.
I talked them into moving out. Not only that, But they left all their loot and 60 groschen too, as compensation.
I can hardly believe it. That turned out a lot better than I expected. The coin is for Sir Hanush, I expect.
Naturally.
Well then, take the money and ride to Ratai. In the meantime, we'll break camp and make sure those bastards keep their part of the bargain.
Right, Captain. I'll be on my way.
And Henry, nice work. God be with you.
Greetings.
Sir Hans,
Yes, Hanush has decided to revive the tourney at the Upper Castle. It's only a bit of entertainment for commoners. A few fellows on foot bashing each other with various weapons.
Well, you don't seem like your usual cheerful self, sir. Anything wrong?
Yes, blast it. Hanush was on my back about what I do all day, so I told him I was busy dealing with very important knightly matters. I said I was training my future page in combat, initiating him into the art of swordsmanship and other battle skills.
I didn't know you had a page.
Well, that's just the thing. I don't. It was just something I made up on the spot to get him off my back. And it seems I was a bit too convincing. Now, Uncle wants my imaginary page to demonstrate what he's learnt in the tourney.
I can see how that could be a bit awkward.
That's putting it mildly. The old man is like a dog with a bone. He'll never let go. Unless... Yes, now I think of it. I'll tell Hanush I was training you. All you have to do is enter the tourney, batter the fuck out of all the other peasants, and everyone will be happy. Except for the losers, of course.
What, and I'm to become your page? I'm not sure if Sir Radzig would agree.
No, Radzig doesn't have to know anything about it. It's just a little charade for Uncle's benefit. Not that it's such a bad idea. Who knows, maybe one day.
Yeah, all right. I just hope it won't get me into trouble.
Everything will be just fine. You'll see.
Well, I suppose I can handle a few fellas one at a time. All right then.
Of course you can. That's the spirit. You have to put up some coin to enter, though. Naturally, I'll pay for that, so you don't go around calling me a pinch purse. Go and see the tournament master. You'll find him somewhere around the Upper Castle courtyard. He'll explain everything and sign you up. Run along now. And don't let me down, Henry. Remember, you have to demonstrate...
Your wish is my...
Excellent. Afterwards, we'll...
I went to Parley with...
So how did that go?
I convinced him to take his gang and leave.
Really? I knew you were no fool, but that's something else. You're a born...
I don't know about that.
Don't be so modest. We have to drink to this.
See you later.